Hey guys, this is Frank from Altcoin Buzz, and yesterday I was amazed to see that Bitcoin hit 10K. So in this video, we're going to look at a range of factors which may be affecting Bitcoin price, including a recent US federal court ruling that Bitcoin is a form of money, the fact that gold is breaking out. We will see the correlation between the US dollar currency index and Bitcoin. We will take a look at what the crypto fear and greed index might be telling us about this current Bitcoin move and how it might be due for a small correction. We will be taking a look at the Bitcoin dominance chart here, which is potentially finding support at the 61 level. And finally, we'll take a look at the global inflation rate and how that might be impacting Bitcoin. If you enjoy this content and want to see more of it, don't forget to subscribe, like, and hit that notification button as it really helps to support the channel. Before I get started, I just want to let you know that I am not a financial advisor and that trading and investing presents financial risks. Okay, so guys, I hope that you watch these videos not just to get super pumped about crypto, because of course some of my videos I'm really pumped and excited, but this one especially will be more geared towards giving you an unbiased analysis where I give you the pros and the cons, and then of course finish with my final opinion. Now, my initial reaction to this was that we broke 10K a little bit too quickly. In other words, we didn't have much of a correction before breaking it, and indeed we actually closed the day below 10K. And also I wasn't too impressed with the volume. So as you can see, we have had a few green days which have been above the moving average on the volume here, but it just hasn't been quite as impressive as I would have liked it to be. And this reminds me a lot of the last time we broke 10K. We went all the way up to 10.389. We actually closed above 10K on this day. However, look at this green bar here. The volume also just wasn't that impressive. And what happened? It led to a massive dump, taking us all the way back down to 8.8K. So the volume is a little bit better here. But again, if you want to have a confirmed breakout, you would expect to see a lot of volume. Now, that being said, it doesn't make me bearish on Bitcoin. I think this is a very solid move up. And the reason for that is that we've been consolidating in this range for a while now, drawn approximately by this triangle. And we have a very clear breakout from here, breaking previous highs over here, small consolidation, and then reaching a new high again. So we broke the previous high of 9467 and the previous high of 9776. So the first thing I always do when looking at Bitcoin price moves, especially big moves, is to just look at Bitcoin news. And there was this US federal court ruling saying that Bitcoin is a form of money. Essentially, Larry Dean Harmon, who was an operator of an underground Bitcoin trading platform, was convicted based on the fact that he was laundering monetary instruments. So essentially, the court had to agree that Bitcoin was money. Now, I don't think that this led the rally, but it is an interesting note. And of course, this added to the PayPal news, the MasterCard news, and the US banks custodial news. Link in the description above if you have no idea what I'm talking about. All of these things really add to the bull case for Bitcoin. Another thing which I like to do is to look at Bitcoin trading ideas on TradingView and then form my own opinion about this. Now, this trader mentioned something which I fully agree with, is that really the resistance to be looking for is this 10.3K level. Actually, if you look at it on the charts, at least on Binance USD, you have 10.5 up there, we have 10.387 down here. I would say really breaking above 10.5. That being said, if we have a close above 10K with volume, that would already be impressive enough. But the point here is that we've had 3 touches in this 10.356 to 10.5 zone. So this represents almost a whole year of very important resistances. Again, I'm going to just draw a box over here. So I'm going to draw it from this first resistance at 10.364 all the way up to 10,520. And again, it's great that we can break 10K, but unless we have at least 1 or 2 closes above, and preferably with solid volume, I don't think that we can let go of our guards yet. We have to be wary for a potential correction, and of course for the smaller chance that we don't even break 10.5K on this go and see a larger correction. Okay, so the next thing this trader alludes to is the cup and handle. This again is essentially saying that we've had a resistance at the 10.3K, we had a strong correction, we had another resistance, and then we had a smaller correction. And with these patterns that you see, cup and resistance, head and shoulders, It's not enough to say, oh, this is a bullish pattern, therefore we're going to be bullish. You have to ask yourself, what does this pattern mean? What is the story that this is telling us about the price? Well, the story that it's telling us is that we reached this level, 10.3, we had a massive correction. However, the next time we reached it, instead of having a massive correction, we had a very small correction. And this means that the bulls are much more in control this time. They have a much slower, more controlled move down, and now they're pushing up again against this level. And this means that if they can break it, not only have they broken this long-term resistance, but also they have this strong support zone directly below it, giving a very good risk to reward for traders to get into a bullish trade here. So that's the story behind the cup and handle. Now, another thing to note is that gold is breaking out and silver as well broke out. And you can see in this 5-year chart that gold has been doing very nicely, had a very big run ever since October 2018. And it's hard not to believe that gold would be in some way correlated with Bitcoin, at least in terms of the idea of protecting against the failure of traditional currencies and traditional finance. And in terms of correlation, you can see that this bull run started pretty much from its low here on the 1st of December 2015. And if we have a look at the Bitcoin chart, look what happened on the 1st of December 2015. Bitcoin at that time was at $475. Now, admittedly, if you look at the low point from where this massive bull run was to start from, it would have been a little bit earlier, probably around here in January 2015. But certainly we saw a massive bull run from 2015 all the way to the end of 2017, so pretty much a 3-year period. And gold in this 3-year period also made massive gains. Now, in terms of correlation, what's even more interesting is the US dollar currency index. So let's look at some of the biggest waves on this chart. One wave which comes to our attention is this level from 103 all the way down to 88. Now, this 103 started on 12th of December 2016. At that time, 12th of December 2016, let's see where Bitcoin was at. Okay, so I'm using a log chart to visualize this a bit better. On December 2016, Bitcoin was at 10,000, and we just had a huge bull run there all the way until the end of 2017. So going back to the dollar index now, as we said, we had this high in December 2016. Bitcoin was at 10,000 there, and Bitcoin spent this time all the way until the end of 2017 going to 20,000. So in other words, the dollar index was falling while Bitcoin was going up. And then guess what? Over this massive bear market that we've had for the past 2.5 years, Bitcoin was going down, and from 20K all the way down to 3.5K, and the US dollar index was going up. But now, look at this. We have officially entered a downtrend in the dollar index chart. And so it's no surprise to see that gold is pumping, silver is pumping, and really it just only makes sense that Bitcoin would start another massive rally. Again, this is just one of many factors, but I think it's a good idea to have a look at the macroeconomic trends when thinking about the longer term Bitcoin bull trend. And as to the inflation rate, you can see that so far the inflation rate is at 3.29% for 2021, higher than last year. And again, inflation means that prices are rising, right? Prices of commodities, prices of products, prices of stocks. So it's only natural that Bitcoin price would also increase. And considering that Bitcoin has been consolidating for months now, I just think it makes a very strong case that Bitcoin will enter a new bull rally right now. Let's zoom in a little bit more now and look at factors which might indicate that we're in for a small correction before entering a new bull rally. So have a look at this. This is the fear and greed index of the crypto market, another tool which I like to have a look at when we have big moves. And look what happened. Last week we had fear. What happened? The market started moving up. This week we have greed. Now let's see what's happened the last times we've had greed. So according to this chart, you can see right now we have a greed index of 58. So let's look at these previous extremes. The previous extreme was on the 9th of May. We had a greed index of 56. So on the 9th of May, Bitcoin is trading between 9.9K and 9.5K. And what happened? This actually marked the end of this nice rally that we had all the way down from 3.856K. And it led to this consolidation as well as a preceding dump. Now, let's have a look at the next extreme that we saw on the fear and greed. For example, here on the 2nd of June 2020, and we saw this greed lasting all the way until the 10th of June. And the 2nd of June here aligns with this date Again, this was a date at which we had a high here. We broke 10,500 and the next day we just saw a dump and it just led to further downside action. So this might indicate not that we're going to see crazy lows here, but that we're going to see some sort of a correction before making a move up. Now, another thing which you might be wondering is, should you get into Bitcoin or should you get into altcoins? So have a look at this Bitcoin dominance chart. You can see that Bitcoin dominance has been falling over the past couple of months, all the way from 73% down to 61%. Now this 61% level is an interesting level because we reached a previous high over here on the 6th of May 2019 and then on the 11th of February. So it does suggest that we might find support here one more time and go for another move up, potentially taking money out of altcoins and into Bitcoin. That being said, any analysis of altcoins versus Bitcoin would not be complete without an ETHBTC analysis. And as you can see from ETHBTC, we've had a clear breakout from this 0.026 level, solid volume, and a renewed uptrend. We have a high at 0.0258 approximately. We have a low at 0.024 and now a new high. So the way I'm doing this personally is I want to enter pretty much an equal position between Ethereum and Bitcoin because it seems somewhat unclear whether or not Bitcoin will take the reins on this next move up, which I do believe will happen. We of course have the public testnet of the phase 0 launching on August 4th. So it's quite possible that Ethereum will continue its run until August 4th and that Bitcoin might take over thereafter. That being said, it's very unlikely that the ETH/USDT chart will lose any value if Bitcoin is going up. So both ETH and BTC seem like pretty safe bets. Okay guys, so for those of you who are expecting a price prediction, my main prediction is that we will break 10.5k, that it's just a matter of time and that we will enter a new bull run and that this will happen without Bitcoin breaking below 9k. Now more specifically, I think it's very unlikely that we come down to anything below 9.5k again. The reason for that being that this marked a previous resistance over here. We had a lot of support, a lot of grinding along this zone. And I just added the VPVR, which confirms this. You can see that there is a lot of support here. So I would be surprised if we go below that. But more specifically, I think that it's likely that we will find support at the purple line here. The purple line here marks the 13 EMA, and we have a solid trend here. We found support once at 9289. We grinded on this for several 4-hour candles. Then we came up, we came close to it, we came up, we came close to it. So if you're looking to buy back into this market, I would draw this 13 EMA on TradingView or any exchange which you're using and buy next time that Bitcoin comes down to it. Now, if we extrapolate this line and just draw it, assuming that it will go up in sort of a similar trend, one can assume that Bitcoin will come down back to the $10,000 level at some point. So one solid trade setup may, for example, be to buy here, stop out nowhere below, I would say 9.4k. So for the target, we want to really zoom out. Let's have a look at the 3-day chart for the target. So again here, we're expecting a breakout of 10.5k. We're expecting this to be pretty intense. The next major resistance, you could argue that it's 11k because we have a double top here. But I honestly don't think that this will play such a large role because we've had so much fighting going on between the bulls and the bears at 10.5. And once that's broken, I just don't think that this will be such a small move. It's much more likely that we will go to test previous highs around the 12.3k zone. And this, of course, already gives you a 3.3 to 1 risk to reward. Okay, guys, that's been it from me today. Let me know what you thought in the comments down below. Are you trading this? Have you learned anything? Did you like the use of the range of tools which I showed you guys? How have your weekends been? Just let me know down in the comments below. All right, that's it from me. See you in the next one, guys.